Devil Dog by Jonathan Sugar. Chapter 1. Inload.
Alert. Unauthorized subject loaded into system. Binding failed. Burning failed. Ejection failed. System restart in progress. Error.
This is what splashed all over my vision when I opened my eyes in that dark room for the first time. I squinted and tried to rub them to clear the crimson-edged gold lettering away, but rough metal bit into my wrists. I strained to look down and saw iron shackles chaining me to some kind of stone table with foreign lettering all over it. It looked like jungle war graffiti, but it stung my eyes when I lingered on it. What the? The room shook with some kind of terrific impact, fully lifting me from the table for a second before slamming me back down. Stars burst behind my vision as the back of my skull slammed into the stone of the table. Something screeched nearby, and my gaze shot over to the sound, but I couldn't see due to the dim scarlet light. Movement. A blur of something in the dark. The sound of scrabbling over metal. The smell of burning fat. Flames roared suddenly in the corner, and what I saw chilled my blood. It was some kind of monster. A little hunchbacked gremlin-looking thing with spines running down its back. It had fangs in its mouth like broken knives, and its eyes were slits of toxic yellow. Some kind of weird red outline edged it all around, and it had a bunch of actual question marks floating above its head. It caught sight of me. Its unnatural eyes widened in shock. It screamed, and it went for the machete hanging off its hip. Yeah, I wasn't waiting around to see what it could do with that. I exploded into action immediately, hurling myself to a sitting position on the table and wrenching my legs around to face it. Those chains still tied me to that table, but I had them at full extension and quivering as I faced off against the freak in the corner. Backlit by the flames, the gremlin clawed at its belt, and it seemed to be struggling to get the weapon free. Not about to let the incompetence of an enemy go to waste, I strained against the chains holding me, and I felt something give. The plates holding them to the floor were weakening. With a snarl, I pump-kicked my legs out and ripped my arms forward. At the same time, the room rocked again, and the combined force tore the plates free from the ground. Gremlin thing hit the deck, scrabbling around, and finally got its weapon out. It screamed and ran from me, wheeling the machete above its head. Little did it know, this was not the first time something had gone for me with a machete. I lunged forward and shoulder-checked it. The meat of my bicep punched into its face as I blocked its machete arm with both forearms. My right hand lashed out and snatched its bony wrist, while my left raked down with clawed fingers across its face. It howled, hot slobber spraying across my arm. Grimacing, I twisted away while still holding its wrist and jerked its arm to full extension. My knee smashed into its elbow and through, breaking the limb upward with the sound of chicken bones crunching in a dog's mouth. It screamed again, dropping the machete. I caught it before it hit the ground, whirled back and slammed the rusty point into the gremlin's neck just above its collarbone. Its scream cut off abruptly, and it choked on the 2 feet of brutal iron bisecting its lungs. I wasn't done. I wrenched the weapon around a little, spreading the internal damage, jerked the blade out and swung as hard as I could at its scrawny neck. It raised a hand to stop the hit, but the dull machete just swept through its fingers and chunked into its neck. Its head dropped immediately, and its body slumped to the ground. I stood over it, breathing hard, trying to process in the sudden silence. I just killed something. Not human. And it really was not. Its fanged jaw drooled some kind of acid onto the floor, and its entire body felt hot, like a cast-iron pan handle held through an oven mitt. Then to add to the surreal horror of the whole thing, magic words popped up over its body.
Encounter completed. Kills 1. Isolated. XP multiplier times 2. XP gained 2.
What the frick? Then more words overlaid my vision, like the first ones I saw when I woke up.
Level gained. Choose class.
3 options sprang up in front of me, but just then the room rocked again, almost pitching me from my feet. I staggered to keep them, but the freaking choices wouldn't clear until I actually did something. How do I do this? I growled, and finally just stabbed my finger at one of the choices. It buzzed angrily and shot a big red X into my vision.
Infernal Warrior. Denied. Burning required.
Okay, I said, and poked at another one. Same thing.
Infernal Reaver denied. Burning required.
Fine, then go away, I muttered, and tried to swipe at the ethereal words. No good. I wound up just scrolling through a bunch of choices available to me, appearing 3 choices per line. Apparently, I had to pick something, but nothing would let me pick it. Each one gave me the same error.
Burning required.
What is the burning? I growled, getting ticked off. Then I saw the sort icon in the upper right of my vision. I poked it, and it shot up the option for a bunch of filters. I remember doing this stuff, working spreadsheets and crap like that where fanged monsters didn't run around. Sure enough, one of the options was
Burning. Ascending.
I hit that one. One option glowed blue. 1.
Paladin.
I heaved a sigh. Fine, we'll go with that one. I tapped it.
Celestial Paladin class selected.
The room rocked again, distant explosions sounding off, and something roared so loudly it shook the grates at my feet. Wherever I was, didn't like that choice. Good, I grunted. But apparently I still wasn't done.
Select skill tree.
You've got to be kidding me, I snarled. Who knew how many more of these things were stalking in the dark out there, and I was stuck in here trying to get through options screens on my own eyeballs. I hit 1 at random, and thank God it took it.
Paladin skill tree judgment selected. Level 2 skill granted. Radiant shot.
Whatever, don't care, I said, and at last the irritating words vanished. An alarm sounded, some kind of foghorn gray, and a deep voice growled over speakers in the ceiling.
System restarting. All suppressive fields are down. Terminate subjects.
Snarls and roars sounded beyond the single door, and my gaze snapped over to it. Beneath the wailing alarms and distant explosions, I could hear chanting, low and guttural, punctuated by sudden screams. Claws started pounding against my door. Well, that sounds bad, I muttered. More text popped up in my vision.
Celestial Paladin M. Garcia successfully registered. Welcome to the game.
I flipped the machete around in my hand once, getting a feel for its weight, and let out a slow breath. I glanced at the thing laying dead on the floor. Its red outline had disappeared, and now it was limned in white. From the sound of the crowd at the door, there would be more of those. Okay, I said, hefting the machete and turning to the door. Thanks for having me.